Good morning, everybody, and welcome to IF Oxford, the Science and Ideas Festival. So, we've been going around the world in stories, haven't we? And those of you who were here yesterday will know that we had a little vote, and you'll get another vote at the end of today's session to decide where we go tomorrow. Now, I've got a little friend with me, and maybe that little friend will be the indication as to where we're going today. So this little chap here comes from a country a very, very long way away from here, but I will let Sarah introduce you to some of her creatures, and then she will let you know which part of the world we're in today. So I'm going to turn myself off and hand over to Sarah.
Hello everyone, and welcome back, and welcome new friends, and welcome to, well, let me introduce you to the animals, and then I'm sure you'll be able to guess where we are. So, you've got a welcome hello from platypus, and a hello from crocodile, and who else have we got? We've got an emu, and a cockatoo, and koala, a kangaroo, and this is a creature you might not know so well. It's a wombat. I'm sure you've all guessed. We are in Australia, a long way away, right at the other end of the world. And I think, just as we did yesterday, to get ourselves in story mode, let's start with a little wriggle and a stretch. So, follow me. You ready? Stretch up tall and high as a house. Now curl up round and small as a mouse. Oh, now pretend you are a drum and beat that tune. Dum, 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 dum. Shake your hands. Stamp those feet. Don't close your eyes and go to sleep. No, 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 because it is story time, and I've got a couple of wonderful stories to share with you. But I'd like to start by introducing you to this rain stick. This is an Australian rain stick, and some people believe that when the rain stick sings, it helps the rain to fall. Now, in Australia, well, all over the world, rain is precious, but particularly in hot, deserty countries like Australia. And the story I'm going to tell you in a moment always reminds me about how precious water is. So let's make the rain stick sing, and then I'll tell you the story. Oh, hope it's raining in Australia. Okay. Well, my story is about a very naughty, greedy frog. Here he is. Hello to Frog. You can tell he's happy to see you. This frog is called a sand frog. And does anyone know? Can anyone guess why he might be called a sand frog? Did I hear someone say because he's a sandy colour? Well, that's true, and a very clever answer, but it's not the reason. Any other guesses? Yes, because he lives in the sand. He's called a sand frog because he lives in the sand. And anyone who wasn't sure, I'm not surprised, because that's a very strange place for a frog to live, isn't it? I mean, where do frogs normally live? Yes, they normally live by the sides of ponds and rivers. And once upon a time, this old frog, he lived by the side of a pond, just like any normal frog. But one day he got thirsty. And he hopped down to the side of that pond and he drank and he drank and he drank. And as he drank, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. Until he drank all the water in the pond. And all the little pond creatures, the little fishes, they said to him, "Hey, frog, don't be so greedy. You drunk up all our water." But the greedy old frog, he didn't care. He just said, and he went hopping on his way. And on he went until he came to a lake. And when he got to the lake, he was still thirsty. So he drank and he drank and he drank. And as he drank, he got bigger, that's right, and bigger and bigger. Until he drank all the water out of the lake. And all the lake animals said to him, "Hey, frog, frog, don't you be so greedy. You've drunk up all our water." But the greedy old frog, did he care? No, he just said, and he went hopping on his way. Until, that is, he came to the river. And when he got to the river, well, you can guess, he was still thirsty. So what did he do? He drank and he drank and he drank. That's right. And as he drank, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. Until he drank all the water out of the river. And all the river creatures said to him, "Oh, frog, frog, don't be so greedy. You drank up all our water." The greedy old frog, he didn't care. He didn't care a bit. He just said, and he went hopping on his way. And that greedy old frog, he hopped right across Australia, because that's where he lived. And every pond and every stream and every lake and every river he came to, he just drank and drank and drank. And as he drank, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. That's right. Until he was so big and fat and full of water, he couldn't move. And he just sat there. Well, all the other creatures, they gathered around him and they said to him, "Hey, frog, don't be so greedy. Oh, frog, you've drunk up all our water. Please give us back our water, because without water we'll..." What happened? That's right. We'll die. Oh, yes, we can't live without water. But the greedy old frog, he didn't care. He just sat there. Well, now those animals, they got to talking amongst themselves. They had to find a solution. And the platypus said, "Oh, I think we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to get that frog to open his mouth." "Well, that's all very well," said the koala, "but how are we going to do that?" "Oh, I have an idea," said the cockatoo. We could make him laugh." "Well," said the platypus, "how are we going to do that?" Have you got any ideas? How are we going to make this old frog laugh? Can you think of anything? Did I hear someone say, "Make a funny face"? Well, do you want to have a try? Come on then, everyone, make a funny face. Let's see if we can get this frog to. Oh! That was a bit scary. Funny faces aren't going to work. What are we going to do? Any other ideas? Anything else? Crocodile, did you say something to me? Oh, Crocodile's got an idea. Crocodile said, tickle him. Do you think that would work? Do you think it's worth a try? Well, it's worth a try, isn't it? Crocodile, can you tickle him? Okay, Crocodile's going to have a go. Oh, have you ever tried not to laugh when your tummy's being tickled? It's very, 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 very hard, and that old frog couldn't do it, and soon he was going. And as the old frog laughed, what happened to the water? Well, it came flowing out of his mouth. And it filled all the ponds and all the streams and all the lakes and all the rivers of that land. So all the creatures got their water back. But as the water flowed out of Frog's mouth, well, what happened to Frog? He got smaller and smaller. Do you want to help him? And smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and where's he gone? He's disappeared. Did anyone see where he went? Oh, well, he didn't even say goodbye, did he? That wasn't very polite. Oh, Crocodile, are you watching there? Crocodile thinks he went in the bag. Well, I'll have a look. I'll have a look. It'd be nice if he said goodbye, wouldn't it? Oh, are you sure, Crocodile? I can't find him. Oh, he is very small. Oh, I think I've got him. Here he comes. Oh my goodness gracious me. He is small. But still makes the same sound, doesn't he? Still the same old frog. And you know, after that, Frog did feel a bit ashamed of himself. He had been very greedy. And so he decided that he was going to become a better sort of frog. And to do that, he'd stay alone for a while and think beautiful thoughts. And so he took himself to live in the sand. And that is why he's called a sand frog. Do you want to say goodbye to him? Well, we'll pop him back in the sleeping bag, shall we? And put him there. And let me now ring the story bell, because we need to decide where we're going next. Let me think. Australia's a big place. Oh, I know exactly where we're going. We're going to meet Mother Kangaroo and Wombat. Now, peoples from all over the world have stories about how things came to be the way they are. And we call those stories creation myths or creation stories. And the peoples of Australia have ancient stories. And they have one story about how Mrs. Kangaroo got her lovely pouch. And I'm going to tell that story to you Now, let's pop her down there. Once upon a time, a long time ago and far away in Australia, there lived a mother kangaroo. And that mother kangaroo had a little baby kangaroo, a little Joey, because that's what they call little baby kangaroos in Australia. Yes, a little Joey. And she loved her Joey dearly. She'd do anything for him. But she had a problem. Her little Joey was always getting lost. Yes, he'd run off to play this way or that way. And then he'd fall asleep underneath a bush or a tree. And she had no idea where he could be. Joey, Joey, where are you? Mother Kangaroo would call. And every night she went to bed with a wish upon her lips. Oh, how I wish I had a place close by me, snug and warm and safe, so my Joey could be with me wherever I went. One morning, Mother Kangaroo and her little Joey were sitting under the great gum tree. They were nibbling their breakfast leaves. And it was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. And Mother Kangaroo felt very happy. And you know how you do when you feel happy. She was looking around her and smiling when she saw, staggering, scrambling out from underneath a bush, an old wombat. Oh, he looked very down on his luck. That old wombat, he could barely put one paw in front of another. And his coat was all tufty and ragged. And oh, Mother Kangaroo, who was a very warm-hearted kangaroo, she felt sorry for him. And she called out, "Oh, Wombat, dear Wombat, are you all right? Can I help you?" "Oh," replied the Wombat, who really was in a very sorry state. "Oh, I really do need help. You see, I'm hungry and I'm thirsty and I'm old and I feel so useless. But why would anyone want to help a useless creature like me?" "Oh, Wombat," said Mother Kangaroo, "oh, don't talk like that. I want to help you. Yes, I do. And I know exactly how to help you." And Mother Kangaroo turned to her little Joey. "Now, little Joey, you just stay here and you nibble your leaves underneath this tree. I shall be back in a moment. I'm just taking Wombat to the watering hole." That's just what Mother Kangaroo did. She led our Wombat to a lovely watering hole across the plain, a place where the water's clear and fresh and lush, sweet grass grows all about, perfect for a wombat. And that Wombat soon was very happy. And then, of course, Mother Kangaroo started thinking of her little Joey. "Oh, Wombat, I must go back now and see if my little Joey is well." And off she hurried across the plain, thinking of dingo dogs and dangers for her little boy. But when she got back, little Joey was fast asleep under the gum tree. Oh, that's good. But what was that? Mother Kangaroo's nose began to twitch. Her ears pricked up. Mother Kangaroo froze like a statue. She'd heard something rustling in the leaves behind her. She could sense danger. Turning oh so slowly, she swiveled her eyes and she saw, lurking in the bushes, there was a hunter. There he stood, his boomerang raised above his head and aimed at the watering hole, at the wombat. Mother Kangaroo stopped for a moment. She didn't know what to do. How could she protect her wombat and her little Joey? What could she do? Well, let me tell you something about kangaroos, and you might have the idea that she had. Kangaroos have big, strong tails and great big hind legs. The mother kangaroo did a very clever thing, a very brave thing. She began to beat with her tail against the ground. Thud, thud. She began to jump on those great hind legs. And the hunter, he turned, and now his boomerang was aimed at Mother Kangaroo. Ha ha! A nice juicy kangaroo snake, much better than scrawny old wombat. But Mother Kangaroo didn't wait to feel that boomerang on her back. No, she'd already started to run. She ran and she ran across that plain. She leapt over boulders. She bounced over bushes. She ran into the trees, twisting and turning and twisting and turning. But the hunter was following behind. And she could feel, she could sense that he was drawing closer. The Mother Kangaroo was growing tired. What was she going to do? Well, just when she thought that her luck was out, she saw a cave, and she jumped in and she froze like a statue. The sound of the hunter's footprints, they grew louder and louder and louder, and then softer and softer and softer. The danger had passed. The hunter had passed by. Quick as a flash, Mother Kangaroo was out of that cave. And across the plain she went, through the trees, twisting and turning. She bounced over those bushes. She leapt over the boulders and straight back to the gum tree. There was her little Joey, still fast asleep. But what of the wombat? Mother Kangaroo hurried across to the watering hole. When she got there, the wombat was gone. Oh, Mother Kangaroo, oh, I do hope he is well. Oh, I do hope that old wombat is happy. That night, Mother Kangaroo had a very strange dream. The sky god, Biame, spoke to her. This is what he said. Mother Kangaroo, I am the sky god, Biame, but I came to Earth disguised as an old wombat. I wanted to know if my people were kind to each other, if my people lived together well. You, Mother Kangaroo, were the kindest of them all. And because you were kind to me, now I want to do something to help you. Yes, I will grant you a wish. Whatever you desire will be. Well, we know what Mother Kangaroo desired, don't we? We know what her wish was. Can you remember? It was a place warm and snug, close by her, where she could keep her little Joey safe and with her wherever she went. The next morning, when Mother Kangaroo woke up, there beside her bed was a dilly bag. Now, you might not know what a dilly bag is, so let me describe it for you. It's a lovely sort of thing. It's just a normal bag, but it is made out of woven reeds and grasses and palms. When Mother Kangaroo saw that bag, she picked it up and she thought, what a splendid bag! That would be very useful. And being a very practical sort of kangaroo, she tied it around her middle. No sooner was it in place than that dilly bag turned into a soft, warm pouch. And in moments, without even an invitation, in jumped her little Joey and fell fast asleep. And do you know, since that time, kangaroos have all had pouches where their little Joeys, they grow up and become big, strong kangaroos. And there's a special word for animals that raise their young in a little pouch. Do any of you know what that word is? Yes, you're right. It's marsupial. Yes, the kangaroo is a marsupial, just as other animals, in fact, in Australia are. But I think, do we leave Mother Kangaroo there with her little Joey, snug and safe? We'll ring the story bell, because I have one last thing to share with you. Send that story away into the world. And now I'm going to share with you a poem. It's a poem about water and wishes. And it's a poem written by a man called John Bush. So are you ready? It's all about a fish that could wish. In the deep blue sea, in the deep of the blue, swam a fish that could wish, and each wish would come true. Oh, the fun that he had, the things he could do, just wishing away in the deep water blue. He wished for a castle, he wished for a car, he wished for a horse and a Spanish guitar. Once, when he wished he could go out and ski, it snowed for a week there under the sea. He wished he could fly, and to his delight, he flew twice round the world in exactly one night. When sharks came a-hunting for a nice fishy treat, he'd simply just wish he were too small to eat. And to teach those sharks a lesson, do you know what he'd wish? That he were a shark and the shark were a fish. He'd wish himself square, all round like a biscuit, triangular, oval, you name it, he wished it. He'd wish for fine suits and handsome silk ties. But the one thing he never wished was to be wise. One day, just for fun, that silly old fish, he wished the silliest wish he could wish. That silly old fish, he wished he could be just like the other fish under the sea. But wishing is something other fish just can't do. So that was his very last wish that came true. Silly old fish. But you're going to be much wiser, and your wish will, I hope, come true. Because now We're heading to the time when you choose where we're going to travel next. So let me spin the globe and have a think. Where might we go? Oh, let me see. We haven't been to India yet, have we? Oh, and here's a great land. How about India or Africa? Yes, let's go tomorrow to India or Africa. You choose and let me know.
Oh my goodness, we've got a dead heat.
Oh my!
How on earth are we going to choose, Sarah?
We could let the alphabet choose for us, and we could go to Africa tomorrow and India the next day. Would that work?
I think that could work. Let's go to Africa tomorrow, and then maybe tomorrow we can choose between India and another country. Well, thank you, Sarah, for such a lovely session of storytelling. But all that remains for me to do now is to thank you all for coming, to invite you back tomorrow, and see you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye for the animals.